we are ready to do our chain stitch, and because my needle minder is kind of in the way, I am just going to gently slide it over so that it's out of the way. And I did not cut my thread, if you recall, from the interlaced running stitch. I'm not going to bother, and I am just going to bring it over here and start at the very base. There we go, very base of my chain. And remember how we talked about how I have a very long tail? So here's my long tail. Because I'm starting to get close to my stitching area, I am just going to very gently move it so that my tail is now out of my stitching area and it's not going to get caught. All right, now chain stitch is fun. Oh, and I can see that she wanted us to go down. Well, I'm going to go up in my chain stitch, so we're going to be a little bit different today. You can choose to go down, so you can start here and move down if you'd like. I'm going to go up in my chain stitch, so here's what we are going to do. The space or the hole that you made at the very base of the chain is where you're going to stick your needle back in. So this is a place your needle back through, and then we are going to pull, but we don't want to pull our thread all the way through, because what we want to do is to leave a little loop. So you can see I'm going to leave just a little loop. I'm making it small, and I like to adjust the size of my loop after I have done this part. So I'm going to bring my needle back up about 1/8 of an inch away from where I have gone into my fabric. So about 1/8 of an inch away from where I've gone into my fabric. And then I'm going to pull my thread through, and I am going to gently tighten my stitch down just like this. But I want to leave a little bit of a loop because it's supposed to look kind of like a chain. And now we're going to make another loop. We're going to go back through the same hole, which is the hard part, especially in this sunshine. But it's so nice and sunny, I couldn't resist. All right, so we're gonna go back through the same hole, start to pull our loop down, and then again, about 1/8 of an inch away, we're going to make sure that our loop isn't twisted, because that is the danger of having long loops. There, nice flat loop. Although if you made twisted loops, that would make a new design. Anyway, and pull it down. And again, I'm trying to make sure that I keep my loops about the same, that I'm not pulling this too tight, because I don't want to pull too tight and lose my loop. We don't want to lose the loop. And now I'm going to go back in the same hole again, which I may have missed. Sort of tighten it down. I'm going to keep a little smaller loop this time, because now you know what I'm doing. And then about 1/8 of an inch, just like this, about 1/8 of an inch. We're going to pull, and there we go. Now we're making our little chain stitch. Oop. And if this happens, which it does to me on occasion, we just disentangle. Okay. Now, if you pull all the way through, you will lose your loop, so don't pull all the way through. Try to gently bring it back down. This is not my best work because I'm trying to show you how to do it, and it's hard to see with the camera in the way. Very gently. And again, you're trying to keep your stitches about the same size. You want to keep your loops about the same size, because that's going to make your chain stitch look better. The only way to get better at chain stitch, though, is to practice. Sorry, I keep trying to pull this closer to myself. I should just move the camera. There we go. There's our little chain stitch again. Go back in the same hole. Pull that loop. Yeah, and I twisted it, so I'm going to untwist it. go. Pull it down into position. So there we are. Look at those nice little loops. I hope you're getting nice little loops just like that too. Chain stitching. Do, do, do. I do like the chain stitch. I find it very fun to work. Although I kind of prefer working it in my lap and not on the camera, but ooh, now here's a mistake that I've made. See if you can see that. I don't know. Hang on. Here's a mistake that I've made. So you can see I have split the thread. That's bad. See, I've split the thread. So I need to pull my needle out, put it back through the actual loop, and pull it down gently, tight but not too tight. And again, back through the same hole. Don't pull it all the way through, remember, we're gonna make loopies. Okay. Gently. And again, we're trying to get about the same size. That didn't go back through the same hole. There we go. Just like this. And now you may be wondering, because we're almost to the end here, what do you do when you get to the end? How do you secure it? Well, let's finish up our little chain. Uh-oh, now we've got a problem. Something caught on the back. So sometimes your thread will make loops. If you're gentle, you can pull them through. Uh-oh. And I pulled too tight. So now we have to loosen this up a little. You can see. That was a good one. All kinds of things to learn with that. Okay. Yeah, that's all right. So sometimes your thread will get a little extra twist in it. So I'm just going to twirl my needle a little bit. Try to see where the extra twist is. Okay. And then just take it out. All right, so here we are. Last little chain stitch. I'm going to go ahead, stick this back in the same hole. And then going to go up because we still have to catch our loop. Oof, and our loop is twisted. Bad loop. There we go. Let's make sure it lays nice and flat. Yes. All right, pull it down into place. And don't pull too tight, remember. See, this one is too tight because we had that issue. I could have backed it out, but I chose not to. So you are going to tack this last loop down, and to do that, you're just going to stitch right at the very tippy top of your loop, like just one little thread past where your needle came out. And there we go. We've got a nice little set of chain stitches. I'm just going to park my needle for a moment. Let's take a look at how we did. So here is her stitching. Here's my stitching. I think it passes. Now you can clearly see that hers, or maybe you can't see, I can see, that hers goes down, mine goes up, but I kind of don't care right now. The more important thing is that you choose which direction you want yours to go and you stick with that direction. So pull that aside. Okay, let's take a look at the spider stitch next. So we're going to have to move our needle minder. I'm just going to slide it over. I have to move our needle minder. Now I am not sure that I want to bring this up and across. I'm not going to have enough thread if I do that. So I'm going to go ahead and secure my thread here. And to do that, I am just going to weave my tail thread kind of through the back side of my work, just like this, and then I am going to snip it short. that should keep it secured. And now, I don't like to waste thread, but I don't know that I have enough to do the spider stitch. Okay, so we are going to do the spider stitch. Now I did go ahead and I threaded my needle with a single strand of floss, and I did put a little knot in that tail because I am going to make an away stitch. And I had thought to put it here, and then I changed my mind. So I'm going to put my away stitch actually down here. Yeah, because I think that'll wrap it over the top then. All right, so here we go. The first thing that we have to do is we have to make our horizontal stitches. So we're just going to go back and forth and make, no knots, there we go. Make our horizontal stitches just like this. And I apologize for any weird shadows. My umbrella has decided to start spinning in the light breeze that we have. So, all right, just like this, back and forth, back and forth. But do be careful that you don't get any knots. Now I did look up why this was called the spider stitch, and what I found was that this stitch is often used in a spiraled or web pattern, and so it kind of looks like a spider web. So spider stitch, spider web stitch, but I appreciate how Michelle is using this stitch in a little different way so that it will look like the ribbing on the bottom and the cuffs of this sweater. Kind of innovative. I appreciate that about Michelle and her Kuriki Press sampler kits. So there we go. All right, now we have all of our beautiful horizontal stitching done. And now what we're going to do is we're going to come back up to the top, and this part you will do not with the pointy bit of your needle, but actually the eye of your needle. And I'm going to wrap the outer edge just to get it going. And now we are going to go under, let me see if I can get this right. Under both of them? Oh no, I did that wrong. Hang on. Hang on, I went the wrong direction, just a minute. There we go. Okay. So what I want to do is go under like this, and I'm gonna wrap around it once and then go, so you're gonna go under, because that's what I did. I did that so that it will wrap around once like this. So under the first strand once, and then under the first and second strand at the same time. Just like this, because that's going to create a little bump or a little ridge. And because my tail's a little too long, I'm just going to go ahead and pull a little more thread. All right. So now what did I do? Under 2 and 3. And again, watch that tip. Do not poke yourself. If you want to switch to a blunt tapestry needle at this point, you absolutely can. So just like that. You're just going to take the eye. Let's move this so it's easier for me. The eye of your needle, and you're going to go under. Now that's going to be 3 and 4, and pull through. See how it's making these little curls, these little wrappy curls. Okay. Now under 4 and 5, just like this. Makes these lovely little wrapped curls. All right, we're gonna go all the way down to the bottom doing this. Just like that. And then when we get to that final, uh-oh. Come on, little curl. Line up nice. There we go. When we get to that final strand, I'm going to go under it once. And then because I want this one to have those lovely little curls all the way along, I'm going to secure it down here by just stitching as close to that line as I can get, just like that. All right, so there we have a nice start. And now to do the next row, you're going to come up kind of right next to the beginning of your row. And then we're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go under this one just to get this prepped. And then under 1 and 2. And put that curl down. Under 2 and 3. All right, and we're just going to keep doing this and remembering to wrap the first and last bar or stitch, and then go ahead and secure it and bring it back to the top. So that's what we're going to do on each row, is just slide that eye of that needle, don't poke yourself, under 2 strands at a time, just like this. And eventually it's going to create this raised ridge that's going to make it look like a knit and purl ribbed bottom on our sweater, and on the cuffs as well. This is what we're doing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and fill all of this in, and then I will be back and we will work on the Cretan stitch. All right, so here we are, our finished spider stitch. So you can see that it looks a little bit like knit and purl, where the where we've wrapped those horizontal stitches, and that's created sort of a raised area, and then how it looks like there's a little bit of a purl stitch in between each of these dips. So there we go, that's our spider stitch, and now we are going to look at the Cretan stitch. The first thing I have to do is move my little unicorn up here out of the way. So there we are, little needle minder. And I did go ahead and I grabbed a new strand of floss. I did put a knot in the end, and we are going to make an away knot again. So I'm just going to put it to kind of, let's throw it up here by the unicorn. All right, now the Cretan stitch is kind of a plating method. So what we're going to do, or plait, I don't know, I always call it a plait, is we are going to go kind of back and forth. So like if this is A, then we're going to come up at A, and then we're going to go in at B, so up here, and out at C. And when we do this, what we want to do is make sure, there we go. Ooh, that was almost semi-professional. Not really. Just kidding. So we're going to make sure that we come out at C. So you can see A is here, B is here, C is there. And what we're trying to do is make a plait, and we don't want this strand, sort of like on our chain stitch, we don't want this strand to be too tight, because if it is, it doesn't make pretty plating. So that's not what we want. All right, so now we're going to go in at D. So D is going to be just a little bit lower than A. So we're going to say D is going to be here. And then we are going to go up over, let's see if I can get this right, up here, right? No, hang on. B, C to D, D to E. Is this where I want to go? Hang on. I have trouble with this one. It takes me a little bit to get going. E. And then F to G. Oh. All right, hang on, guys. I gotta think about this a second. A to B, C to D, E to F. Do this a little bit at a time. E to F, but don't pull it all the way tight. F to G. Let's do that there. Pull that a little bit tight. G to H. And H to I. And then I to J, J to K. Don't think I have this going quite right. I think I have to capture it just a little bit better in the middle. That's what I'm missing. Oh well, let's just do J. J and leave a hole. Sorry, leave a loop. J up to K. Kind of. Doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look quite right either, does it? I wonder what I did. Actually, it looks better the more I do. For some reason, I thought that with Cretan Stitch that you looped in the middle, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Sort over here and then do that one. I feel like this plating should be a little more obvious. Well, I'm still not exactly an advanced stitcher. Okay, I have issues when I'm too close to my hoop. Let's do it like that. There. Doesn't look terrible. What do you guys think? Okay, don't tell me. No, I guess it is right. Yeah, looks right. Must be another stitch I was thinking of. All right, let's go over here. I am better when it comes to right to left versus left to right, which I think is kind of funny. See if I can do it like... Can I get it? Can I get it? No, I'm gonna fail. All right, one more time. Ah, there we go. All right, make sure that your loop stays underneath your needle tip. There, that was like the fancy way of doing it. Look at that. I know, I'm shocked too, trust me. Alrighty, so there we go. Not bad, not bad. I should probably do these a little bit closer together. I have a feeling I didn't follow the holes quite like I was supposed to. So, well, I don't know, it doesn't look too terrible. Looks pretty similar. What do you guys think? Pretty similar? Yeah? Cretan Stitch. Alright, oh, and look here, now we get to practice it a second time. Alright, so I'm gonna go and practice making my Cretan Stitch smaller and more delicate. And hopefully you can go do that as well. And then on our next episode, when we come back, we'll start working on the actual sweater. Alright, so what I'm going to do to finish this is I'm just going to bring this down and tack it. Just like this. Just so that it doesn't lose this bottom loop. And I'm going to go ahead and then bring my thread in and practice this. So anyway, if you are having fun with our little stitch along, I hope you'll be back for the next episode where we start actually working on the sweater. So yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow us. Make sure that you have, followed us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all those fun things. We're going to keep working on our fabulous sweater. Because here we go. I just have my little, where is it? There it is. My little Cretan Stitch sampler to work on over here. And then we're going to get to work on this actual sweater. So join me again for the next episode with our little stitch along. And I will see you then.